Welcome back, fishing friends, to another adventure. There's a little view of the lake here. I'm sitting at the lake cabin. Families are here enjoying the lake and stuff. Hey, I went on a very unique fishing expedition to a Lake X. And at this lake, I couldn't make a normal fishing video, but we whacked a ton of fish. So we were fishing for largemouth, and I got to test a bunch of lures. Lure categories, I guess you could say, like topwaters, different things, some weedless stuff, and man, I had a great time doing it. So I was out there with my cousin and my uncle. So it wasn't a place I couldn't make a video there because it's kind of sensitive to where the location is. So what I did is I took some pictures of them, some screen grabs, and I'm going to narrate kind of a little bit each fish and the lure and what was going down with that. So, please be patient with this. I know it's kind of a different video. It's kind of a weird thing that I'm going to have to kind of narrate through what's going on, but it's kind of worth it because I caught so many fish. Some 5+ pounders, 4+ pounders, 20, 21-inch fish, and then even some small ones that were kind of fun catches. But it was such a great outing and a great opportunity to have some family time and some fun out there at this place I'd never been to before. Kind of a quiet area, not much going on. So, sorry guys, I'm getting chewed up here by mosquitoes. What in the heck? Anyway, all right, so please stick around, look through the photos. I'll be talking about some stuff, and then we'll wrap it up a little bit later. Hey, thanks, and enjoy the pictures. All right, guys, let's get to the images here, and I put the baits in here with it. So I've never done this before, this type of format of video, so please bear with me. All right, the first two picks. I caught these nice bass on the Sluggo 7.5. That's from Lunker City on the alewife color. I just fired it out there, bounced it along, let it do its thing. Sometimes I would do just a nice normal retrieve, but they weren't in the water very long, or it wasn't in the water very long, and it just got cracked. So I caught a couple nice bass on that. Had a great time with it. It's good stuff. Okay, let's take a look at this next bait. With this fish, I caught it on a cream soft jerkbait. It's in that fluke style, 5-inch pearl. And I bombed that out there, and I had it on a ball-headed jig, and I just cranked it through nice and easy, and it just got whacked. Easy way to catch them. And I've never really used the flukes very much, so I know there's different ways to rig it. I got a friend of mine that nose hooks it. I got another buddy that does it weedless. But this one I just wanted to test it on a ball-headed jig, and it worked just fine. So, and it wasn't in the water very long either. All right, let's get to the next two. Or the next one, this bass I caught on a 3.6-inch minnow called the Nako Enticer. It's a little jerkbait, and it was in like a deadly Keda Hasu color, I think is what it is. You can kind of see it there in the pic. And I've never used this bait before. I was ordering some tungsten punching worm weights, and they had these, I think they were marked down. And I said, you know what, I'm going to pick one of those up. It looks pretty cool. And it described that it had like a cool vibrating action. So fired it out there, straight out into the middle of the pond. Way out there. It's easily castable. Just did a slow, steady retrieve, and then I would kill it and let it dive and flutter. Then I would pop it a little. And it didn't take long before I got this nice bass on it. So it's just another jerkbait that's out there that is worth testing out. I'm usually a Smithwick and Bomber guy, a little bit of Cotton Cordell, but this thing is nice. Okay, let me see. Ooh, these two. these two fish, they just crushed a wounded Zara Spook, which is a twin prop, and it's like in a chrome and black color. It's 4.5 inch, and I tested this down in Texas. Didn't have any luck with it. It's a big bait, and for sure this would work for pike, muskie, bass, obviously. And these I threw along the cattail grass edges and just kind of let it do its thing. I pull it instead of really cranking it, so I'll pull, stop, wait for a little bit, pull, stop, and then I'll tighten up the drag or tighten up the line a little bit, and then pull. And probably on the third or fourth pause of doing that is when the bait just got wrecked. Both of them firmly crushed it. Hooks deep in there, both sets of trebles. So, and I love the prop baits. They're so much fun to throw. I'm not really much of a walking bait guy or a popper. I love the prop baits because they do the work for you. Okay, now we have a worm coming up by 6 cents that I didn't really like too much, the ridge worm. Partly because the long ribbon tail was similar to what was the weeds, type of the weedy grass that was in there. And I just didn't like it very much. And the front part of it, where I had it hooked up weedless, it's a little bit thin there. And I understand the design. It'd probably work great for a drop shot, but it just didn't, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling it. I did catch a fish on there. And what I would do is I'd bomb it out there, and then I'd bounce it along, and then I would kill it, let it do its thing, then I'd crack it. I'd just change the retrieve on it, and I caught the fish, but I'm just not too thrilled with that bait. There you can see in the picture there's all kinds of different colors of them. So if you like the ribbon tails, go for it. Okay, the next two pictures, I caught these on the 6 cents Divine Shaking Worm, 9.5 inch. And this thing is easy to cast, great colors. I call this one the plum color. It's kind of a purple dark fleck thing. It may be the Nirvana color, but you can kind of see there in the picture what it looks like. And with those little ribs all through there, it displaces water, and sometimes you get air bubbles trapped in there, which is kind of cool. And how I'd fish this is I'd bomb it out there, let it sink, and I'd leave it there for like 10 seconds. Sometimes 8, and then I would crack it, let it do its thing, fall, or I'd slow crank it and then stop it. Sometimes I'd drag it on the bottom. But anytime it was on the pause and I'd let it sit still, boom, they'd get it. It was cool because you could see my line tighten up, and then there went the line. You could see it start moving, and really I just reel into the fish. I didn't have to, really do a massive head hook set. I didn't have to like load it up to the cork, as Uncle Frank would say. Frank Scalish would say. I just kind of reeled into him and got him. Alright, these last two were probably my favorite. I was throwing the Berkeley power bait, Nessie, 9 inch, and like a burnt bone color. I like the burnt bone color because it was cloudy, overcast, and it would really pull in, absorbing the light. And this thing, I fished it about 6 feet off the bank, fired it out there, just slow retrieve, then I'd kill it, let it do its flutter. And there's 2 slots for nail weights, up at the nose and towards the back. So I put the weights in there, that way this would get down a little bit deeper in the water column. It's good stuff. And sometimes I would do a quick twitch and let it flail, and that's usually when I get the cracks on it. So I caught 2 really nice fish, but man, they just inhaled that bait. The other good thing about, as you can see in the picture there with these Nessies, is that they're scented. They cook in the scent in there because it's the power bait, and it was a lot of fun to throw. Now if you don't put the nail weights in, it's going to hang near the top. You just do a real slow retrieve. You don't need to burn it through, and then just kill it, and it'll start doing its weird flailing, and that's usually when the fish crush it. That was some pretty good stuff, wasn't it? Hopefully you like that. I mean, I was hitting fish just over and over again. It was good stuff. I had a great time on that wounded Zara Spook, as big as it was. I had one that got away. It was a huge fish. I almost got him to the dock, and then he threw it. And I had fun throwing that thing. It's a great bait. And then I had a smaller fish hit it that I don't think he made it on the pick, but I brought it in. So you never know. You know, throw those big baits. And I was really happy with the Berkeley Nessie. I loved how that thing looks in the water. I put the 2 nail weights in it, and so I could get it down a little more. And you swim it normally, then you stop and it does its fluttering. And it was just getting whacked on that flutter. All right, guys, thanks for hanging out with me. And until next time, I will see you then. Bye-bye. Now get out there and get your lures wet.